Alright, I think we're live. Yep, let me see here. We are live. I have no idea who's going to tune in this morning because it's an oddball time of day. I am out on the Connecticut River, just getting set up. I have a bigger jig tied on that I'm going to take off here. I had this one set up for walleye, so I'm going to switch this over. Hopefully we get some people to tune in. And yeah, fishing the Connecticut River today. I was here the other day with my son. We did pretty good on the crappie, so I figured I'd try to do a live video. Maybe I'll get lucky and we'll catch a few while I'm going live here. So try to get my watch hours up, so anybody that tunes in, I appreciate it. If you comment and stuff, I'll try to watch while I'm going here. And as always, I appreciate it. So let me get rigged up here. I'm gonna make a couple adjustments here to my rig. I'll show you what I'm using and everything today. So I am going to, let's see here. I'm going to, I have that jig that I want right here handy. I'm going to use something darker in color, I think, today, because the water's really dingy. Small. Let's see what I got here. I have to go in the box next to me here in a minute. I'm going to also try, I'm going to fish soft plastics today, I think, a little bit to get started. Here we go, this is what I want. Yeah, this will do the trick. So I'm just using a little teardrop tungsten jig, guys. Hopefully you can see that. It's got a really tiny hook on it. Anybody that tunes in to see this later, hopefully they will. Right now, I got nobody. Not kind of what I expected, but hopefully there'll be some people that watch this later. It is cold out. 9 degrees this morning. It's probably about 11 or 12 degrees now. I am not cold though in here because the shack is plenty warm. So let's get tied up here. This jig I got here is way too big for this. I mean, it would work, but not what I want to use. We'll put that one back. Hopefully we get some action today. As I get older, these little tiny jigs are harder and harder to tie. That's for sure. If I start getting on them here, which I hope I do, be able to show you guys some fish. I know I'll catch something here. This place is always good to me. It's just a matter of getting on them. I drilled a handful of holes here when I first came out, and I'm going to retie this because I don't like that knot. I drilled a bunch of holes, and the holes I drilled, the second one I put the deucer down, showed a whole bunch of suspended fish, so I'm assuming it's the crappie that I had here the other day. We have not gained any more ice. I cannot believe that. There's 4 inches of the solid stuff here, and I figured there'd be another inch or 2 after the last 2 nights because it's been rip-roaring cold, but that didn't happen. And I'm gonna go ahead and assume that's because of all the snow we got on the ice. Insulated it up, which wreaks havoc on create an ice. It'll keep your ice, but it will also help not bring on any more. So now we got her tied up, right? I should have done this at home, but I didn't. So I think just to get started, because I have my spikes all ready to go, I'm just going to put a spike on to get started here. I see I have one person tuned in. Thanks for tuning in. Crappie fishing here today on the Connecticut River. And I just put a tungsten teardrop jig on, fishing that on a clam rod here. So straight drop rod. I got this rod last year, fishing it, that little tiny tungsten there you can see. Pull these glasses off here. Got my heater going. Pretty cold out today, so see, this is my first drop. See if we can't pick something up here. I drilled a couple holes. This second hole I sounded with my fish finder here in 9 feet of water. Had a whole bunch of suspended fish, so at some point I'm sure they'll come back by. They're not here right this moment, but I had a few hours this morning for work and I wanted to catch some fish, so that is my goal. Let's hope that I picked a decent spot here and those fish that were here come back by, because I had a whole school of them here below the ice. So otherwise this could make for a pretty boring video, but I do have my coffee ready to go here. Finally getting that colder weather. Been waiting for this for far too long, so got some water dripping off top of my shack here because I used it the other day and it was snowing like crazy, so it's starting to melt off. Hopefully the shack will dry out a little bit today. So see if I can get these fish in here. Worst case scenario, I will move. I don't have a ton of time today, but just how the nature of the beast, these crappie schools move around a lot. I drilled this hole, sounded it, there was a bunch of fish there, and now they're not, but they will come through. There was a pile of them here yesterday. We did pretty good. Not yesterday, day before. Come on. Hopefully action picks up here. Pretty slow at the moment, but I just got here, so. Hope everybody's doing alright. I don't know if I can see the chat. If anyone's chatting, I might have to go here. Okay. So I think I'll be able to see if anybody comments. I have not done a ton of YouTube live videos, but I'm going to start doing more of them now, especially that we got the ice when I have service. Some of the places up here in the mountains I do not have service, so unfortunately I can't go live. This happens to be one particular place that I can, so. And right now, for whatever reason, there was a whole bunch of fish on the screen when I probably should have popped a few more holes, and I might wind up having to do that. Worst case scenario, I think I'd take you guys out on the ice and pop a couple of holes. We'll see. They're moving around. They'll show up here at some point. It's just how live video goes. It's not like I can edit when you're live. 2 watching now. Hopefully we can catch a fish here for you in a minute. Being that it is a weekday, Thursday, I didn't figure I would get too many people watching, but for those of you tuned in now, I appreciate it. You guys got any questions about gear, what I'm using, my setup? I got the M3, the Markham over here, which you can't see down here on screen. I'm using a clam straight drop rod. It's the noodle, the 30-inch noodle. It's got a really nice tip to it, but a lot of backbone, so it's a good solid rod for crappie and panfish jigging. I'm using a Descent by 13 fishing reel here. For my entire life, I've always used just standard open face style reels, but I wanted to give this a try, so I've had this now for like a season and a half, and it's been pretty good. It does help a lot with the jig spin, which for crappies isn't normal, so I think I do get more bites with it. It's more a confidence thing, I think, though, than anything else. I got the Mr. Buddy, or Mr. Heater, the smaller of the Buddy heaters here, which is all I've ever used. I personally have not found the need for the larger one. I also feel like they go through propane a lot faster, the bigger ones. So, and I've seen more problems with the bigger ones. I've had friends that use the bigger Buddy heaters and just, not saying they're not good, I just personally am not a big fan. If I were to get one, which I'm not going to because I run diesel heaters now for the nights I'm staying. Yep, I would probably run it off a bigger propane tank, because these little 1-pounders wouldn't last long in those bigger propane. The bigger Buddy heaters, I should say. I cannot believe I don't have a single fish on screen here. The screen was littered with fish before I started fishing. It will pick up though. Alright, let's see here. I got a spike on there now. I'm going to switch this over to a soft plastic for a little bit. See if I can get a little more motion going on down there. So I also started using pretty heavily some Mackie plastics in the last couple of seasons. I've not been a plastic guy, but they've proved to be pretty dang good. The last couple of seasons I've used them. So, let's see if I have a darker colored one here. I'll try that red one, I think. The water right now is really dingy. We had a ton of rain before it got cold with the snow and the runoff. So, I'm going to use a darker colored plastic here. I'll show you guys what this looks like here in a sec. They're anise impregnated, so they have a strong odor to them. And they last a lot longer on the hook than your live bait, obviously. So this is just a smaller Mackie plastic. Well, if it stops bouncing there, hold on. Let me give it a dip so you can see it. It's got 2 little legs, just a little plastic piece that's scent impregnated. And for crappies, this has been a pretty hot ticket. So, quick tip too for anyone who wants to do some of this jigging. These little teardrop jigs, when you tie your knot, if you pull your knot back toward the hook, the jig will lay out like this, so when you're jigging it, it will look more natural. If you have once you tie your knot and you have your jig like this, you'll see what I'll show you here. You'll see what I'm saying. It kind of hangs down. It's not that they won't eat it, but this presentation is not as good as if you pull your knot towards your hook point. I'll show you one more time before I drop this down. Seeing as there's not much action going on down there. So this one will be, it'll look much more natural with it sticking out straight out. When you're jigging it, that tail really bounces pretty good. So let's see here. It's been a very slow start. I apologize for the no fish thing here so far. But we just got here, and I have confidence that they will come back. I gotta turn the gain up on my fish finder here real quick. I can see my jig a little better. Just nice to get on the hard water here. It's been a tough start to the winter. Even across the country, I guess, like out in Minnesota and some of these other places, they finally get nice, but it's been a hard start to the winter for ice fishing for everybody. But we have ice building now, and it's supposed to be cold for the next several days. Single digits next few nights. Next week's gonna warm up a little, but that'll be nice because it'll be nicer days out on the ice while we're ice fishing after we build some ice. So pretty excited about that. And hopefully we'll keep this ice now right straight through till late March, April. Usually we do. Up here in the mountains of New Hampshire and Vermont. Anybody else been out? Hopefully I can catch a fish for you guys here. Make this a little more interesting. Because right now, it's dead. For those of you just tuned in, oh, here's a fish, guys. Here we go. There we go. Finally. Small crappie, but hey, it's a start. I will take it. Thanks for those tuning in. I'm not keeping any fish today. Kept a pile the other night. Just happy to get this little guy to get it started. So, tiny little crappie, but it's nice seeing them little ones because you know that we're reproducing down there. So if we can get Grandpa, Grandma here. Getting hung up in my gear over here. Alright. Let's see here. Nice to see a crappie. He just came on. Oh, there's another one down there, guys. Hopefully this is the start to the action here. Very slow start, but at least I caught one there for you guys. Not much to write home about when it comes to crappie. A smaller one, but it's better than sitting on the couch waiting to go to work this afternoon, I tell you that. What you got here? I haven't been out yet. Hopefully this weekend. Sounds good, man. Are you running any traps or just jigging? I'm just jigging right now. We've been running traps the last few times we've been out. We have caught a couple of pike. If you go back and watch some of my regular videos, you'll see there's a pike. There's 1 or 2 pike videos I just did on there. I have a couple more videos I gotta edit. Working on it. We haven't had any ice. It's been a rough start here, so and now the fish don't want to cooperate. But that's how it goes. At least I got that one small one there while you guys were tuned in. Appreciate you guys tuning in for sure. I know it's weekday, so hopefully you guys are not too busy. Hoping the action picks up here before I gotta take off. I got a couple hours to fish today before work, so I figured I'd get out here and mess around. That one fish just came in like a bat out of hell and smacked it and then let that one go, and another one come up off the bottom. But there could be some pike down there because this area, this setback's loaded with pike, so sometimes these schools of fish get pushed around a little bit. I had a pile of them on the screen when I drilled that hole. I thought it was going to be pretty good action here for a while, but not the case yet. Back to work. I hear you. You been out of work, Aaron? Hope everything's alright, man. Hopefully the bite picks up. If you just tuned in or you haven't heard me say it, I'm just using a little tungsten teardrop jig with a Mackie plastic here, trying to jig up some crappies. So I got one doink crappie so far. Not a good start. I might have to rethink my setup here or do something. I don't have a ton of time, but it's 9:44. I get a couple hours, so I'm going to give it a little bit of time here before I reset everything. It takes some time, for those of you that ice fish, you know, setting all this stuff up and filming makes it a little difficult, plus running lights and stuff to try to keep it bright enough in here for you guys. In fact, there's kind of a glare here. Let me see if I can see if that helps. Maybe a little bit better. Let's see. With this window behind me here is the problem. Oh, there's a crappie, guys, on my screen. I'm messing around. Go figure, I turn around and look away and I get one coming. It never fails. Yeah, I'm going to put this window up. If that's too dark, you guys let me know. I think that's pretty good. Man, I just had one on the screen here. That's a bust. Turn around, I'm playing with windows for light for the camera, and I had one right here. Didn't feel him hit it though. Don't look like he touched it. Send her back down. It's definitely a crappie too, because I'm jigging, fishing like 9 feet of water, and I'm jigging it at about 5 or 6, so very good chance that that was a crappie. We got some really good ones here a couple of days ago, so I'm hoping I can get on a few for you. Dang it, I can't believe I missed that one there. Should be a pile of them here though. Definitely might have to make some adjustments. Come on, crappies. Hey, you guys see that kid there? The fishy kid. Take the you-know-what bait. Probably one of my favorite little skits where that kid's got he's got the fish in front of him. He's trying to get him to eat his bait. Here, fishy, come on, fishy. Laughed pretty hard about that one. We've all been there. I'm there right now. Yeah, it's slow. I didn't expect it to be this slow. So I might have to do some moving around. I was hoping not to. I thought sure I was going to crack them here with all the fish that were on the screen. Might have to send a might have to send a rattle trap down there or something, see if I can call them in. There is another setback back on the Connecticut that I have very little cell phone service. I would love to do live video there because I do crack the crappies pretty good there. It's just in and out for service. So how cold there today? Today, this morning it was 9 degrees, Chuck, and right now it's somewhere around 11 or 12-ish. Not in here though. In here I'm nice and toasty right now. It's been chilly though. We got a few good nights gonna be cold. It's gonna warm up a bit next week, but it'll be nice for ice fishing as long as we build the ice. I'm honestly shocked that I haven't been here for 2 days. The snow is what's doing it to us because we got about 6 inches of snow day before yesterday, and that kind of insulated the ice up, so we haven't built much. It's about 4 inches of ice here, and normally by this time of year we got 8-9 inches of ice sitting here, so it's happening late, unfortunately, but by the weekend we should be pretty good. Man, this crappie are gonna make me crazy. There were a pile of them here. Does not fail, such as fishing. I may pop this ice house here and slide it over. In this particular setback, a matter of like a few feet can make a huge difference. So, well, oh, it's Woodchuck Man. I'm sorry, I said Chuck. Woodchuck Man. Yes. So, you got ice where you're at? Where are you ice fishing at? Man alive, I tell you. I might have to move around. I hate to do that to you guys because it's going to be a pretty boring few minutes while I'm moving the shack around, but I want to get on these fish. And I only have 2 hours to do it, so. It is mid-morning, so that can affect the bite here a little bit, but there should still be some fish around here. Might have to take you guys out with me here and go see if we can't get them in another hole. If I do, I will pack up shop and slide the shack. I'm gonna make it. Oh, there's a fish, guys. Hold on a minute. Not just yet. Come on, fish. Well, I have one looking at it. the soft plastic. Let me send some bait down there. Let me see. Had a fish there. Well, you guys can't see the screen, so you're gonna take my word for it. He didn't want to eat that soft plastic, so maybe that's my issue here. I'm gonna switch over. Put a spike on. In fact, I'm gonna put 2 on. Hopefully this will happen here. Okay, let's see if he'll come back. Take a bite out of this one here. He came up, nosed it, but he didn't eat it. So, oh, here we go. Here we go. Let's see. He's looking at it. There we go. Come on, bite it. Oh, he had it for a second, and I missed him. Batting 1,000 here, folks. Oh, he's coming back. Could be another small fish. Thinking it's another small one, the way he's acting. Come on. Not a good sign about what the bite's going to be like today. These fish are usually fired up here and they usually come in slamming it. But it is not appearing it's going to be that way today. Here we go. Come on. That light bite. Very, very light bite there. We have, there's golden shiners here too. Sometimes they're, you too. If you're still on there, Woodchuck Man, you have a good day as well. Thanks for tuning in. Oop, there's a fish. Maybe I can catch one before you go. There we go. Doinker, guys. Another doink. Yeah, little yellow perch. I'm going to give it a little longer here just because there's some fish moving around, but I'm going to probably wind up moving spots because this isn't the quality of fish I know are here. Little yellow, tiny yellow perch. I know there are much better fish here, so we might have to just do some moving around. But I'm not giving up on it just yet. A few more minutes. I'm gonna give it this till at least 10 o'clock. See if I can't make something happen. If I can, great. If not, I'm gonna move over a little bit from where we're at. The way these setbacks work, there's piles of weed that sometimes these fish hang up in. Here's a bigger fish coming, I think, guys. Oh, I missed him. Not sure if he was bigger, but yeah, I'm not sure that he was bigger because it was a light bite. But yeah, so I was saying that there's pockets of weed beds in this setbacks, and sometimes you could be 5 feet from here could be a weed bed where all the fish are hanging around it, and if you're not right on it or close to it, it can be tough. Being that there's big toothy critter pike in here, these panfish can get jostled pretty good, so a lot of times they'll stick to them tighter to those weed beds. It is not appearing like this particular hole is going to produce for me today. Man, I had a whole pile of crappie on the screen when I drilled this hole. They probably moved 5 feet to my right, and I'll go over there and jig, and they'll be back over here. What we got? It is 9:58. Thinking I'm gonna pick up and move, but I'm not gonna shut the live feed off. I will just keep it running, so you guys are gonna be bored out of your mind staring at a blank screen with nothing on it here for a couple minutes probably. Especially, I'm gonna go check this other 2 holes I drilled and see if there's fish on them, and then I just might slide everything over. Won't take me long, but I don't want to be sitting on a dead hole. So, and so far I've caught 1 dink perch and 1 dink crappie, like 2 3-inch fish, and that is not how these setbacks generally fish. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, is pack up quick, move my gear, try that other hole first. I'm gonna bring my flasher out there, try that other, see if I can even come up on it. Flasher, and then make a quick decision. Could be just time of day too, but there's no sense in sitting here if the fish aren't cooperating. So I'm gonna bore the beans out of you guys for a couple minutes by going to check these other holes. So if you stay tuned, great. If you're not, I understand. But I'm gonna go just check these other 2 holes I drilled real quick with the flasher, see if anything is down there. If I do catch one, I'll bring you out there, or I'll bring the fish in here real quick and show it to you, and then I'll probably just move the shack. So give me a couple minutes, guys. I'll be right back. Try to make this video worth it for those that are tuning in. Well, guys, if you're still tuned in, I'm gonna see. I don't know if we lost you. Oh, I got 1 perch over there. I'm gonna go give it another whirl here. If they keep coming up on the screen, I'm gonna move the shack over. It's only a few feet from here, so just stay tuned. and hopefully we can make the action a little bit better for you. Alright, so that hole is not producing. I got another one drilled in here to my left, so I'm going to give that a whirl, see what happens. Gonna drill another hole over here. So far, not so great. But again, could be a lot to do with the time of day. So I'm gonna drill, pop a couple more holes, and then I may reset up here. But if not, I'm just gonna come back to this one because I think it may just have a lot to do with the time of day here. So we'll stay tuned. idea if anybody's tuned in or not. Still 2 people. Alright, I got one. Small bluegill. But there's a handful of fish on the sounder over there. So I'm gonna go reset everything up here. It's gonna be a pain in the butt to do. But I think it's gonna be worth it. So we'll see. I don't know if it's gonna be, but we're gonna give it a hell. So there's no sense in sitting here if there's no fish. Drill a couple fresh holes. Just gotta move everything over. So bear with me if you're gonna stay tuned. I appreciate it. We're gonna get everything hopefully set up to where I can actually catch a few fish on screen here. So. First and foremost, I gotta get all the gear out of here. Shut the heater down. Alright, bear with me guys, so hopefully it'll be worth it. The good thing is it won't take me long to get everything over there, so. Put a window down so I can see what I'm walking to. I'm not going to take the whole shack down. I'm going that way. No idea if this is going to hold you guys up or not. Let's find out. It should. Well, this is new. I'm moving this stuff all over here. Hopefully it's worth it. There we go. Get readjusted here. There's not much wind, so I should put my stakes in, but I'm gonna risk it to biscuit, so stay tuned. I'm doing a lot of work here. Hopefully it made it worth it, but we'll see. Stay tuned, guys. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. Get that heat going again. Alright, thanks for staying in here with me, guys. I moved holes. I caught a couple fish out of this one, so I'm gonna go get my chair, my rods, get back at it. Sometimes I'm a little bit, I'm closer to the shoreline here, so I'm hoping this is the ticket here. Let's see. I'm going to start with live bait again, I think. Get this thing set up right here. Okay. Hopefully this is a ticket. I don't know. Caught one. Well, two. I had a handful on the screen, so I am much closer to the shore here than I was. Put a couple more of these spikes on. You know, even if I'm catching sunnies, it'll be better than not catching anything. I'm gonna shut this door here in a second too. Now, got the heater going again. Light held up while I dragged this around. You guys are diehards. For those that did, oh, the one individual now that's stuck on with me, appreciate it. Down we go. Let's see. No idea if it's going to pan out, but at least I had fish on the screen, so. Might have to just whole hop. The problem with that is keeping you guys on here to do it, so. A lot of times that fresh hole is good and then nothing. Oh, there's a fish, guys. Come on. See what happens here. Looks like there could be a couple there. The only thing about this reel that I haven't got really adjusted right is their drag. There was a fish there. I think they're just being finicky. I think that's what it's going to amount to today. It's just the time of day. So, which to be expected. We got some overcast skies, but it's not great. Top of the shack still pretty wet. And zero fish on the screen. This is the way it's gonna go today. It is what it is. I think I'm gonna stick it out here until end of. If I get them biting, I get them biting. If not, it is what it is. The wind's starting to pick up slightly, so I'm gonna go put a stake in my shack before that goes blowing around on me, I think. What in the heck? Not the best time of day. Sitting here at 10:21. They should be biting though. They should be biting. There's one. Come on, guys. I got them on the screen now, at least. It's just a matter of getting them to bite it. Oh, man alive. Well, that was a good bite. Might be a better fish here, guys. Smacking it. Don't know what it is. At least I am getting bites, which is more than I was getting before. There we go, fish on. Took a minute, but there's a decent gill. Not a bad little gill. All right. Let's hope continues on this way. He's not huge. There's much bigger in here than that. Much bigger in here than that. There's more of them down there, so let's see. Well, I'm glad I made the move. At least we got on one or two here. Better than not catching them, I can tell you that. My coffee's cold. Such as mid-morning fishing. Bite was definitely better in the afternoon a couple days ago, but it was also snowing like a banshee when we were out here, so I'm not sure. There's other people out here. I don't know how well they're doing. I haven't really been watching. They're jigging. One gentleman's been jigging the same area, same hole since I got here. I'm gonna turn you guys just a little bit here. So I'm assuming he's got something going on, a little bit of success over there anyway. Went after walleyes this past weekend. Wound up catching a bunch of perch. Drove a couple hours to catch some yellow perch. Chasing ice. That wasn't too exciting. Fell in a hole. That was exciting. Everybody else was excited about it. They got a good laugh. But I thought, oh, here's a fish, guys. See if he comes at it. Yep. Oh yeah, this a little bit better one maybe? No. Ooh, nice crappie. Yes, yes. This is what we're after, folks. This is what we're chasing. Oh, come here so I can show you the folks. Come on, come on. Nice crappie, guys. Not an absolute giant, but let me give me old dip so I can check it out. I'll take it. Not complaining. Not keeping fish today. Kept a pile the other day. Hopefully there's more down there. I'm going to send it right home, see what happens. Nice to see a little crappie action there. Boy, it was hot and steady here the other night, but working for him today. For those of you watching, I appreciate it. Glad I made the move though, so give you guys a little bit of something here. It's been pretty dead. If I could pick up a couple more like that today before I head to work, I would be okay with that. I'd love the action to be a little more fast and furious, but I will take the bites I get. Here we go. Come on, fish. There was another one down there, anyway. I'm going to seal up the shack here so it's not so cold, but let me see if I can catch this guy first. Something down the bottom there. I'm wondering if that's a bluegill. Last year, not far from here on a different setback, I caught like a close to 30-inch pike on this little rod right here, 3-pound test, and that was fun. You can go back on my YouTube channel and watch that video if you guys would like. A little teardrop jig pike came up and smacked it, and the fight was on. I'm pretty sure it was, if I remember correctly, the fish was about 30 inches. Could have been a little bit smaller, but it was a decent pike to catch on 3-pound test, I can tell you that. It was very exciting. Cold coffee sucks. Unless it's iced coffee, then I guess it's not too bad. But when you buy a hot coffee and your hot coffee gets cold, not great. Alright, I'm going to seal up the shack here so that I'm staying a little warmer than I am here. And I will put some fresh bait on here in a second. Alright. Time for some fresh bait. Not much chair up just a smidge here. Fresh bait, a little fresh spike on there. Tungsten jig with a little spike. And away we go. Turned my gain up because I had 2 spikes on. I only got 1 and lost my jig. If you guys are wondering, I'm fishing with a, if you just tuned in or you were watching here, I'm fishing with a Markham M3. It's a lithium model. Had it for a couple seasons. It's awesome. I have not done any kind of review on this, but it has been a very good unit. I imagine the live scope would be awesome here because I could probably find the schools of fish set up on them. Maybe there's 1 crappie, there should be more. But I just picked this up. This is the Eskimo Quick Fish 3. It's the non-insulated one for my day trips because it's light and easy to pack and carry, set up, and there's plenty of room for, I think 3 people could fish in here comfortably. And it was on sale or marked down from its original MSRP price, so I got a pretty good deal on it. And I have, which you can also see the review, a quick review on, I have a 450 XD by Eskimo insulated version. It's got the white or gray inside. It's great for filming and it's super warm. I've camped in it. It's really nice. There's some camping videos in it as well if you guys want to check those out. Fishing slow, guys. Sorry it's not producing as many fish, but I do thank everybody who's tuned in so far again. I moved around, I hopped, like, oh, there's a fish that was just went by. Mid-water level, there we go. It's gonna be a crappie, guys. Come on, bite it. Come on. Definitely a crappie. Comes another fish. Let's see what this one is. It's coming in hot. Let's see. Oh, I missed him, guys. I missed him. Dang it. I might have to switch jigs out again because I'm missing a lot of fish on this particular jig. Not liking that. I think I'm going to switch this out to one of my VMC teardrops because it's got a little bit better hook on it. Here comes another one. See if he bites this one, huh? Here he comes, coming in hot. I don't know if he had it that time or not. Dang it. Yeah. They're coming to it, but they're not loving it, so I'm gonna switch jigs, I think. Switch out jigs. But at least I'm getting more action here, so that's crucial, that's key. I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm gonna switch jigs and see if we can't get on these guys a little better. I'm having a hard time setting the hook on them here. I don't know if they're just short stroking it or what, so stay tuned. I'm gonna grab my jig box right outside the shack here and tie a different jig on. Reach into my bag of tricks here. See what we got going on. Like that one maybe. What are you gonna do with this one here? Switch over here. I might have misplaced my cutting tool. I think I did. Alright, well, lost my cutting tool. Don't know where it went. That's what happens when you're messing with gear and you get snow on the ice. It's probably somewhere over there where the shack was set up before, but That's what teeth are for. My dentist loves that. So, for now, we're just going to switch it over this way here. I'm bummed about that, but had that forever, my little cutoff tool. Don't get old. Gets hard to see. Something plugging up the hole. There we go. 3-pound test. Never had this problem when I was younger tying knots because it was always easy to see. I got fish on my screen right now, so that makes me feel a lot better. Hopefully they're gonna start biting pretty good here for me. Got a bunch of them on the screen down there, so let me get down. Get a bait going here and let's see what happens. If you're just tuning in, I got a little glow-in-the-dark tungsten teardrop jig that I'm fishing a spike on. I had another one, a different jig tied on before. I had to put a little bigger one on here and it's got a little better hook on it, so let's see what happens here. She's going down. I'm going to seal this shack back up in a minute here. Oh, we got people saying stuff. New shack's good. I might do. Whoop! I got a fish, guys. Oh, that's a nice one. Here we go. This is a little bit better fish. Let's see if I can get him in. Ooh, I might have a bass on here, folks. I might have a bass on here. This is not. If it's a crappie, it's a giant crappie. Feels like a bass. He's ripping line. Hopefully I get him in. Oh my goodness, it is a bass. Mr. Larry came to say hello today. Hi, Mr. Larry. How you doing? See that tungsten jig right there on the roof of his mouth? Gotta love it. You were asking about gear reviews, Matt. Yes, I might do some gear reviews. Right now I'm working on just getting some time on the water here due to my schedule. As you know, not a giant bass, but they're always fun to catch on the jig. He was taking some drag, so that's always cool. I enjoy it when they do that. But we'll let him go, see if we can get on a couple of crappies here. I'll show you the release here. Might as well show you something here. See you, bud. Later, dude. Yeah, get this back in there so you guys can see what's going on. Alright. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, because I did. It's been a slow start, but starting to pick up a little bit here, so let's hope it stays that way. That was an awful lot of fun catching him there. Alright, what do we got? Laughing at me, huh? Yeah. Catching fish. Let's see if Larry's distant cousin Crappie wants to hang out. As usual, I was goofing looking at the screen reading messages, and I saw this big line below my jig and kaboom, so that was cool. Fishy Friday. Oh, tomorrow's Friday. Here, fishy. Tomorrow's Friday. Keep losing track of my days. That's what happens when you work lots of hours. Mr. Larry came to say hello. So these little inline reels don't have the drag system's quiet on them. Although you might have been able to hear it. I'm not sure. But he was definitely taking some drag for a small little bass. So it appears that I had the drag set pretty good on this reel. And I'm going to seal the shack, and I'm going to put a little more bait on. And I have roughly an hour and 15 minutes, about an hour, I would say, by the time I got to get going, packed up, and get out of here. So I'm going to give it a heel. I'm not going to move again. I did make one move, but seems to be a little more fish action here. I'm just going to stay put. Put some fresh bait on. Seal up the shack. But I've been having fun so far. Hopefully those of you that tuned in have too. It is frigid out. But got these woolly pants on. A few layers here, and the heater going in the shack. And it's not bad, especially when you close the shack. Alright, what do we got there? Nice one. Hey, thanks, David. I appreciate it, man. If you're still on. Alright. Down the rabbit hole. Ooh, I was getting chilly with that door open. I'm glad I shut that up. Could put my coat on, but why do that when you can have the heater going? Be warm in here. Anybody that's tuned in been out fishing yet? See, we got like 3 people on, 4 people on, something like that now. It is a weekday, so I didn't expect a ton of people to tune in today, but I'm looking for some views, some watch hours to get my channel fully monetized here. So for those of you that are tuned in or have tuned in, I appreciate it. Yes, you're still here, but oh, awesome. Thanks, man. Thanks for tuning in. Oh, I got a fish. Had a fish on screen. See if he comes back. Never fails. I got to keep reading messages because every time I do, I get a fish underneath my jig here. Anybody else? I got a few more people tuned in just now. Anybody else been ice fishing yet this year? You can comment down below. Don't be afraid to check out my other videos. So those of you tuned in, I have some pretty decent ice fishing videos from up here in New Hampshire and Vermont last couple years. So if you go on my main channel and check those out, they're pretty cool. Got one or two from this year so far, and working on getting a few more going here. I've kind of had a lapse in my YouTube channel for posting videos just due to the amount of hours I'm working. So, but I'm trying to get better at it. Plus we've had no ice, so it's been kind of a dull month or two here between hunting and ice fishing. So, but there's lots coming. We got good ice here hopefully coming. I got a handful of friends coming up to fish this year with me. Hoping to put them on some fish. Oh, here we go, guys. Fish coming. Got him. Got him, folks. Oh, this could be a crappie. Oh, could be another bass the way he's fighting. This is not a small fish. Oh boy. Big crappie, please. Oh, big yellow perch. Yeah. Look at that bad boy. Alright. This is what we're after, folks. Some of these too would be nice. I don't mind them stripers. How many we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Little 7 striper right there. Look at that one. He is nice. Good size for the pan. Not keeping any today, but he'd be one that would go home. That's cool. Well, we're getting a little bit of multi-species going on. I've got, so far, a decent little crappie, a couple of sunfish, little, 1 pound bass, yellow perch, and that's it so far. But well, I catch one of them big old bluegills that live in here too. There's some giant little bullheads in here. But that was cool, catching that nice little yellow perch to give us an array of fish species here. For those of you that live not far from the Connecticut River, if you've never fished the Connecticut River setbacks, you need to do so. There are a multitude of them. You just gotta do your homework. I'm not going to tell you exactly which one I'm on today, but I will tell you this: they're not hard to find, and if you get out there and you like pan fishing, jigging, that's where it's at. Thanks, David. I appreciate you. Like I said, I appreciate you watching. Yeah, it was a nice one, Matt. This video did not start off very good. Just definitely didn't start off with a bang. It was slow for a long time, and finally I've been starting to whack a few fish here to kind of make it more interesting for folks that tune in. Yeah, I'm gonna kill another hour on the ice here, go home, have lunch, and then go to work. Doesn't that sound fun? Much rather sit out here all day, I tell you that. But gotta pay the bills to buy the gear. We had a terrific snow squall storm here a couple days ago, and the bite was fantastic that afternoon. I did not take any filming gear, equipment, nothing with me, and I'm glad I didn't, because I left my whole rod locker full of jig rods at home. Fortunately, my son had his one jig rod. I think this is giving me some. Is it this one? Yeah. There's too much glare there, guys. Hopefully that's a little better. Yeah, we had one jigging rod between the two of us, and we managed to jig up probably, I don't know, maybe 20 or more crappie and a handful of bluegills, 1 or 2 small perch. We didn't get any flags that were noteworthy for pike or anything. We were trying to get on some pike. My poor kid, he's been begging me to get on some pike for him, and we have had some opportunities. He missed out on an opportunity this past week. Hit one of our favorite pike spots, and he had a screamer, and took his entire spool of line. Thankfully we got there just before it got to the end, and he had the fish on for a couple of seconds, felt the weight, and popped off on him. So he was pretty bummed. But it's still early in the season, and as long as the ice hangs out, I should be able to get him on one. That's kind of one of my goals this year, is to get him on a pike. So I might have to put another fresh bait on here. Yeah, it's not fast and furious today, but there are a few quality fish coming up now. At least for the jigging rod, anyway. Put some fresh bait on. What do we got here? Any crappie yet today? Yes, absolutely caught some crappie. Nothing to write home about yet. I did smack them really good the other night, so I had a few hours today before work. Those of you that crappie fish know that at least mid-morning, midday, crappie fishing events don't go that great, but they're more, especially this setbacks, they fish better late afternoon or first thing in the morning for crappies. But I have had a mixed bag of fish today. Just caught a decent yellow. I did get one really decent crappie. There's way bigger crappie in here, but had I been keeping fish today, it would have been one that would go home. Probably a 12 or 13 inch crappie. I like your YouTube or your channel name there. That's 1776 Reasons Why. Pretty cool. I don't know if any of you have been tuned in since the beginning still or not, but when I first started, the fishing was really tough here, and it's still not awesome because of the time of day, but at least I'm putting a couple on the ice here for you. I'd like to see it pick up here in this last hour, but I highly doubt it's gonna. But I am enjoying myself, and for those of you that have been watching, I hope you did too. Here comes a fish. Let's see if I can't whack this one, guys. Oh, had him, folks, had him. Here he comes, coming back. Thump. Oh, thump. There we go. There we go. Oh, Crop City, baby. Hey, you're asking about him. There he is. That's what we want. Can you tell I'm having a good day now? Things have gotten better. You old paper mouths. Having fun with these bad boys. Not a giant, but hey. I'm going to leave him on the ice here for just a sec because I got another one down there. A little trick I learned years ago. When you got fish on the screen, I'm not going to kill this fish, but he'll be alright out of the water for just a minute or two. If you send your jig back down there and you got crappie on the screen, you have a good opportunity at whacking another one before you send that fish back down. Because usually what happens is, in this shallow water, and here comes one. See what happens. Oh, I missed him. So what happens a lot of times, you send your fish back down the hole, it messes up your bite. Oh, he hit it and I missed him. There we go. Come on, come back. I am going to return this fish to the hole. I just missed another one. I'm pretty sure it was another crappie. So that's just a little trick, especially if you're keeping fish. When you're keeping fish, yeah, he's plenty healthy. I'm going to let him go. If you're keeping fish, you'll notice your catch ratio will actually be a little higher. Because as you're returning these fish to the hole, they seem to spook in shallow water, spook the other fish down there, and it turn your bite off sometimes. So I'll leave them. If I'm just fun fishing, I'll leave the fish on the ice for a short period of time. I'm not torturing them. They're fine. just for a minute or two. Wouldn't be any different than if I was holding them out of water for a couple minutes to get a snapshot or a picture or something, but that will increase your hookups if you do that. You get a school crappie come in and it's slow like today, and you get a bite, just leave that one fish on the ice for 30 seconds to a minute, send your jig right back down there. A lot of times you'll double up. But I missed that fish, unfortunately. It took off and now my screen is blank again. So it might be a minute or two here before I hopefully get some more fish on the screen. But hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Thanks. Better than warming your armchair. Yeah, that's true. This is true. And I'm sitting down, enjoying myself, relaxing. It's not like this is strenuous stuff right here, let me tell you. Matt, how is the quality of the live feed? Or those of you that don't mind commenting, I'm just curious with my service here. I figured it would be pretty good. One of the setbacks I want to do this on is not great, so I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But I got to figure out a whole hotspot Wi-Fi thing for those of the places I want to do this on that are a little more remote or have no cell service. Those are sometimes the best places to fish. Clear. Alright, cool, man. Appreciate it. I don't know if we'd get any buffering or all that fun stuff, so. Alright. Put on a fresh bait and send it back down there here. So. Let me think about new gear. What do I have that's new? Just the shack this year so far for ice fishing is new. I have not done an additional video on my four-wheeler, which I plan on doing it from like a longevity standpoint. For those of you who follow the channel, I've done I think one review on it when I first got it, and I haven't done like a long-term or a year or two review on it yet, but I bought a CF Moto, it's a 500, and it's been a pretty good machine so far to me. I've been plowing with it so far for 2 full seasons, which has been awesome. Oop, I got a fish on the screen. Let me get down there while I'm chatting here. Yeah, it's been good to me. I know some people have had some issues. Sometimes people have problems finding parts, but there are a handful of places out there to get parts, and they're getting more readily available as time goes on. So I'll probably do another a video on that this year, hopefully. I ordered a new diesel heater because the one I bought last year, the Max Petting rods, has given me some problems. So that's why I did the review on that, to see how that was going to go. I have to play with it. It could have been a user error thing on my part, but I ordered another one that was supposed to be here already, and it got caught up in California. Go figure. That's supposed to be here soon. It's a silver model. Got good reviews on Amazon. They were running a little promotion thing. I got it for pretty cheap money, and with the reviews it had, I figured I'd give it a whirl. However, I can't do any kind of review or real world review or the experience on it because I have not received it yet. The piping, the 3-inch piping I got for it for the vent aspect came in, but I didn't get the heater yet, so total bummer, but that'll be here hopefully this week. I wanted it for this week coming up because I have a couple days off coming up after the weekend that I wanted to do some ice camping, which may or may not happen. We'll see. We shall see. Definitely going to be on the ice, and I think I'm going to be chasing smelt, and I hope that I have a friend of mine that's coming up. If it won't be this week, it'll be the following couple weeks or something like that. So one way or the other, I'm going to be videoing and I'm going to be fishing. So audio and video is good. Awesome, man. Appreciate that. You watched my video on that heater and almost bought one. Yeah. So I'm not saying that the heater is junk. I used it 2 times, did 2 overnight trips last year, one of which was awesome. I was on the lake smelting and it ran flawless through the whole night. The second trip out, I had the exhaust pipe too close to the ice, and I woke up in the middle of the night. I heard like a bubbling sound. I'm like, uh-oh, that don't sound good. So I went out and check it, and the pipe, because I was too close to the ice, had actually slowly made its way down to the ice, and it was trying to blow the exhaust out through the water because it had filled the hole up where it would melted to the ice, and the exhaust pipe was like basically underwater. So I could have done some damage to the heater. I could have maybe screwed it up, because from that point on it hasn't run properly. So definitely probably user error on my part. I'm gonna pull the glow plug out of it, and it came with an additional screen. I'm hoping it's just clogged up with crap. I also went a little heavy on my kerosene to diesel mix, which I've heard other people say if you go too heavy on the kerosene, you're not going to pull as much heat as you will with just a straight diesel, or just a, you know, like a 5 to 10% mix with kerosene to diesel. But thank you very much for watching that, David. I appreciate you checking that out, and I will try to give you updates on that as time goes. Oh, here comes a fish, guys. There we go. We'll fish on. Yeah. Nice crappie, guys. Hell yeah. So that's all the intel I have on that right now. So don't go, I wouldn't say not to purchase it, because I've heard other people had decent luck with them. It was probably my own stupid error. I should have had that exhaust pipe up off the ice a little bit better to prevent that from happening. So, little crappie. Not a giant, but these are like perfect, like borderline the eating size. I don't like keeping them when they get up to that like 14, 15 inch mark. These are the kind of the size crappie that I would keep if I was to be keeping a handful again. But we had a pile of them the other night, so I'm not keeping any more fish today. And I don't have the time to clean them, being that I got to get to work this afternoon. There is another fish down there, guys. Let's see if I can't make this happen quick. Hopefully this last hour gets productive for me here. But glad I made the move. Like I said, if you've been here since the beginning, I don't know who has, who hasn't, but I will say it again. I was fishing about 20, maybe 20 yards back behind me. I had drilled a hole, and when I first got here, I had what I believe to be crappie all over my screen at like that suspended mid-water level depth. And I'm fishing 9 feet, and this whole section here, about 100-yard section all around me, is about the same depth. But if you had been listening when I was on earlier, I was saying weed beds in this place, in this particular setback, are spotty, and I've noticed that if you're off the edge of a weed bed, sometimes the fishing can be tough. So you got to mess around, find the holes. Crappie fishing, right? For those of you who have done any type of pan fishing, moving around sometimes makes the difference, and that's what happened today. So yes, sir. Good panfish for sure. Yeah, so David, I hope that helped you with my explanation of that heater. I will say this, with the jackery, no problems. I've heard other people have issue. I don't know if it's just the size jackery they're using to run their diesel heaters, but I never had any issue with startup or any problems with that. From that perspective, it was mint. And the jackery is such an awesome unit. I'm not saying you have to buy a jackery in general, but you got to make sure you buy one that's rated to the heater, at least to get it started, because I'm running mine off that 12 volt plug-in, you know, it's not running off an actual battery. Many people will tell you can't do it. It's false. We've been doing it now for a couple of years. I have done it. Rory's doing it all the time. We've never had problems with starting up and all that with the Jackeries. And I'm running the 1000 and the Pro, and he's got the 1500, I believe his is, Jackery, and both units have worked great for that. So. That diesel heater video review got some views, so that was pretty good that you guys get to check that out. Anybody else that's on watching been out fishing yet? Ice fishing, I should say. Been a little spotty still here, but at least I got more action than I did when I first started, so. The schools of crappie are probably just moving around these weed beds in here. I'm gonna try at some point. Some people yelling at me, I must have a flag. I'm gonna try at some point to do a fish taco recipe / video. Here comes the fish, guys. Come on, baby. Boy, he came up, looked at it hot, and then took off quick. So I wonder if there's a bigger fish down there spooking him now. Like I said, there's some big old pike in here. There's big bass in here. So sometimes these panfish will get a little spooky coming in. That fish was down, pasted onto the bottom, came up. Alright, I'm gonna add another fresh spike to this here quick. You going tomorrow, southern New Hampshire, maybe going up in the Barnstead area on Sunday. I'll go Saturday if we have the courage, because it's going to be cold. Yes, it is. It'll be very cold. Pack your heater. Closest I've been to ice fishing was watching this live stream. Well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I'm going to get a couple of fresh spikes going here. I'm hoping you guys are enjoying it. It's better than for me, better than sitting on the couch and doing nothing like Matt said. And also, for those of you who haven't got out yet, it give you a little bit of hope that the ice is going to be good to go in your areas or whatever. You guys have any preference on jig style that you use for your pan fishing if you do it, or do you have preference on baits? You fish soft plastics? Do you fish live bait? I'm kind of all over the place. I have been steadily moving toward soft plastics for crappie, but they're expensive, and they're also sometimes hard to find unless you order them online. But they last. There's a trade-off. They last a lot longer. You know, like than spikes or mousies or mealworms or whatever your live bait choice is. What do you, Dave? What are you targeting for fish? You know, I don't expect you nor really want you to tell me where you're fishing as far as the body of water, but what species are you targeting? Here's a fish coming, guys. Let's see if I can get him to bite. Ooh, missed him. I short stroked him here. Oh, he's coming back. Come on, baby. Ooh, that looks like a better fish. Better mark. Come on. Finicky fish today, guys. He's still there, but he's being... He raced up, looked at it. He's barely biting it. Nice bass and perch. Awesome. Yes, sir. You keep your perch. You like eating perch through the ice? Probably one of my favorites. We had a little perch fish fry this past week. We went all the way up chasing ice up to the Canadian border. Basically, we're 25 minutes from Canada, fishing up there. The old slime dart. Yep, can never get around them slime darts, especially fishing largemouth. Most of them lakes and ponds get them slime darts everywhere, so. And I do have fish here on my screen, but they just are not cooperating here. Yeah, yellow perch can be really. I tell you, they're awesome eating fish through the ice. I don't care for them outside of that season, but. Where we went this past week, I was hoping to have a much better quality video to put together because the particular body of water we were fishing had walleye and some nice trout and stuff in it. I guess it does fish slow from what I hear, but they can be really good at times too. So I was bumming. We had a lot of tip-ups out and we're jigging, and we had the live scope and everything going. My buddy Rory and my buddy Jason and my son, and I thought sure we'd do a little better than we did, but I'm not going to give up on that particular body of water. I think at some point I will go fish it again. Oh, dang, I ripped it right out of his mouth. That was a good one. There he is, he's back. Come on, come on, come on. There we go, got him this time. Little bluegill. There are some stud bluegills in here. I've caught some really big, some of the biggest bluegills of my life I've caught out of the Connecticut River setbacks. Well, I think I'm going to fish for about 40 more minutes, so I'll probably just let this feed go. For those of you who want to sit here and keep watching, I appreciate it. Here comes another one bombing in. Oh, he's going to smack it. There we go. Fish on, guys. Oh, yes. Another bluegill, I can tell by how he's fighting. No, I lied. Dang, I was way off. A lot of head shakes. I thought that was a bluegill. Another yellow. Let's see here. I can get him without being stuck. Because as you guys know, those of you pan fisher, men and women, these guys will stick you pretty nasty. Not a very big one this time around, but nice little yellow perch. Borderline keeper. He would have went back for me. Not keeping fish today, but he was right at the edge of one I would have kept. More likely he was going back. Just looking here at the water clarity, it is horrible. We had that rain, heavy rain, was it week before, last week, week before, whatever it was. And man, did it make a mess of the river. Screwed our ice up bad. The setbacks were starting to lock up finally, and then it went to hell with that snow and rain we got. So we lost ice for a long time, and then all that runoff just made this. The setbacks are already fairly dingy, but it made it really bad. So I got about maybe 5 or 6 inches of visibility here under the ice. That's why I'm using that brighter colored jig. But, oh, there's a fish on me here, guys. What's that? That's a big old fish there. Holy smokes, I had a big mark coming in. That could have been a pike that just went by me here. Came in suspended up off the bottom a couple feet and then headed to the bottom, so it could have been a pike or a big bass. Winter season pro tip: put your boat in your chicken run, and they'll eat all the barnacles of the bottom. Mission accomplished. Oh boy. So sounds like someone put their boat in their chicken pen. That's funny. Yep, chickens don't care. They'll eat pretty much whatever. I like to hook whatever that big mark was that just come through. That was something something different. Big old mark, big old line come through there. Yeah, I bet. Now you gotta repaint the bottom. Chicken picking. Okay, let's see if we can get a couple more here while we're live. Come on, fish. I got about a half an hour, a little more than half hour I'm going to fish for here, so. It hasn't been fast and furious, but it's been fairly steady now for the last half an hour, 45 minutes. I've been averaging a fish every 5 or 10 minutes here, so. If it stays like that, I'd be a happy camper. And my coffee hasn't got any warmer. Ugh. I like iced coffee, but I don't like hot iced coffee after you've had a nice warm coffee. So, Matt, if you're still watching, I talked to the individual about this coming week coming up, and I'll touch base more with you on the side, on the private side here soon enough. But they're still on the fence about whether or not they're going to make it up. I'll know more on Friday, so I will touch base with you again on that. You and the Thai man. Oh, here we go. Fish, fish, fish. Come on, guys. Come on, Betsy. Here, fishy, here, fishy. Come on, fishy, come on, fishy. Just take the bait. He's staring at it hard. Big mark, come on. That's not a... What do we got? Being finicky. Big old mark down there. Come on. He's all over. He just didn't want to chew on it. Might be one of them big old bluegills down the bottom there. Working him, but he didn't want to do it. Not committing. Like a bad relationship. Tell you what. Alright. Fresh bait. Let's see here what we got going on. These things are smoke-related. One thing about these spikes is they get waterlogged pretty quick. Finicky fish don't like that. What do we got? What do we got? It's Crappie. Alright, so you heard what I said. That's good. I'm dropping my stuff here. Fresh spike, ready to go. Yo, maggots. See what happens. See if I can get that one. Put a fresh one on there. See if he likes that, if he's still around. Come on, fishy. So much nicer this little shack than carrying that big old dead body size shack. That thing weighs a ton, and that's what we refer it to. The Eskimo 450 XD, we refer to it as the dead body because it weighs just about as much as a dead body. Probably. I don't know. I've never pulled on a dead body. So, other than deer hunting. But that's what it looks like, and that's what it would feel like, I imagine. They are not light. It's easy to pull them around with a machine, for sure, which I hope we'll be doing this week. So if you're in the market for a Eskimo insulated shack, the 450 weighs a lot. It's not as heavy as like the 650 or the 850, of course, but it's fairly long in the series of shacks that they have, and it's just awkward. So you need a fairly big sled, like an extra large. I have the Jet Sled XL, and I just bought last year. That's actually something I could do a review on too. I bought the Otter Magnum, I believe is the size. It's the one just below the largest size I have, because I couldn't fit the biggest one, which is the one I wanted for behind the machine. I could not fit that in my pickup truck. Here's a fish coming, guys. Let's see what happens. They're hugging the bottom now. Spooky. Finicky, spooky. Pains in the butts. Well, I still have 5 tuned in, it appears, and again, I know it's a weekday, so those of you that are tuned in, I appreciate that. This should help me quite a bit with some watch hour time that I needed. And if you're new to this channel and the live feed here, feel free to check out some of my other fishing and hunting videos. They're a little more action-packed than this live has been. But at least it wound up being fairly decent here, because it was slow in the beginning. It's still slow now, but not like it was when I first started here. So I full-on expected it to be a little bit better bite than this today, but I'm not complaining. I'm standing on water. Definitely one of my favorite things to do. Clicking and ticking down. Got a half hour here. Did you get any work done today, Matt? You or Ty? Besides barnacle biting chickens? It looks like I've been running here for about an hour and a half, which is cool. I got a little wind here. I'm hoping it's not going to be an issue. I may have to go drop the... Guys, hang tight. I'm just going to go put a peg in my shack here, because the wind just picked up, and I do not want to be chasing the shack around with the heater going. So stay tuned for a second. I'm just going to put a couple of spikes in. I'll be right back, though. Keep an eye on my rod in case it goes in the hole. Let me know. I didn't have any wind a little while ago. It just started blowing. And the last thing I want to do is chase this thing around the lake or the setback here, so. Alright guys, sorry about that if you're still tuned in. Whew. Had to go put a couple of stakes in the shack because the wind started to pick up. Trials and tribulations of ice fishing, right? The little hands are freezing, so I gotta warm them up too on the heater here real quick. Holy smokes. When you're sitting in a nice warm hut and then you go out and put a couple of stakes in with bare hands, you know it when it's 11 degrees out. Whew. All right. What's the temperature down there, Matt? Yeah, everything is frozen solid, man. Well, believe it or not, since I talked to you, so it's been 2 days since I fished out here with Austin, and here comes a fish, guys. Oh my Lord. Hang on, folks, something good. Holy smoke-a-lakins. Big old yellow perch. Let's see if I can keep him on. Big old yellow perch. This is the biggest one just so far today. It's a nice one. Oh, look at that bad boy. That might have been the mark I was seeing earlier. That's a beaut. That is a beaut. Check out that one. That's a beauty. Nice. What do you say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 striper. Old Joe Holland likes them stripes. That's for you, Joe. Those are the kind of ones you want to keep catching all day. That's a beaut. 12 inch plus perch right there. Awesomeness. It is not warm outside. That could have been that mark I've been seeing here. I knew it was a decent fish. But at least now my shack ain't gonna blow away, because I thought that was gonna happen. You got a heater going in your shack and things starts blowing around. Bad things can happen. "25 degrees, okay. I think that was like the high today. I don't even know what it is right now. You guys could probably pull up. Oh, there's a suspended mark, guys. Crappie time. Come on, baby. Oh, it's falling, so maybe it's my bait that came off my hook. No, I still got my bait. Something else maybe fell down in the water here. Was not my bait. Yeah, 14. It was. I think this morning when I got up, it was 8 degrees here, and I think we got 3 more nights of that single-digit stuff, or just around that 10 degree or lower, give or take. So, I forget what I was saying here. Yeah, before the shack started blowing away, or I thought it was going to blow away. I mean, we have 4 inches of solid black ice here, which I'm completely comfortable being on, because it's the good stuff, with like 4 to 5 inches of snow and slush on top right now. Believe it or not, even with its cold temperatures, it's still pretty slushy, especially with the heater going and stuff in here. But I'm pretty shocked in 2 nights that we didn't put on any ice here in this particular spot. So I thought sure we'd have added an inch or 2, but that snow just goes to show what that snow insulation can do. There should be people ice fishing down you guys' way here soon, except for next week. They don't get out this weekend if they got a few inches of ice. Hopefully they do. They're going to be done again, because from what I gathered and saw, it looks like 50-degree weather again next week over there. Here comes a fish, guys. And oh my lordy, another good one. Holy smokes, what do I got, guys? This is a good one. Rip and drag. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Maybe a bass. I gotta put my rod in the hole for this one. Let's hope I don't lose it, guys. I mean, he's rip and drag. This could be a pike or it could be a bass. I'm thinking it's a big old bass. I'm gonna try to keep him pegged here for you. I hope I do. Loosen my drag just a little bit. I haven't seen him yet. I have no idea what it is. It's not small. Come on, just come by my hole for me. I gotta move my deucer out of the way. Oh God, this is a big fish, guys. I wish you could see the hole here. My biggest fish of the day here so far. I mean, he's rip and drag. This has got to be a bass. Whatever it is, it's not small. I can tell you that. If it's a panfish, it's a beaut. Come on, I just want to see your face here. I don't want. I hate to lose him, but I'd at least like to see him before I lost him, so I know what I had on. 3-pound test is scary stuff here when you're fighting fish like this. Come on, what are you? What are you? Big old bass. Oh, nice. Nice largemouth on the jig. Yeah, baby. It's what I thought it was, but look at that. Jig just fell right completely out of his mouth. How about that? Probably like a, I don't know, probably close to 2-pounder, but on that 3-pound test, man, he was ripping. I wish you guys could have seen the hole in the fight a little better, but that was freaking awesome. The light's not the greatest in here. I apologize for that. Let me see. Yeah, it's a little better. What do you think, guys? Not bad for a quick morning session before I go into work. I'm gonna let him go here. I'll let you guys see that. Hang tight, I'll put him down here for a second. I'm gonna switch the camera down so you guys can see me letting him go. Alright, swim another day. Later. That was pretty sweet. I don't know if you could hear that, my reel, the drag coming, because like I said, this particular setup, this reel doesn't have a loud drag. Usually when I'm fishing my other setups, you can hear that drag ripping, and he was definitely pulling some drag out there. Awesome. That was fun. Elephants eat peanuts, guys. That tiny little jig, a little tungsten jig with a spike on there, that's what he ate. Probably like a 2.5 pound large one. Nowhere near giant size fish, but on 3-pound test and a tiny little panfish rod. That was a lot of fun. I'm amped right now. That was sick. Shut this window again so you guys aren't getting that glare. Whew! I get all fired up. I'm all fired up. Let me tell you what. That was fun. Thanks, Dave. Yeah, that was awesome. And the fight begins. Yes, sir. I'm so glad I made that move. I don't know if you guys were watching. Who was watching from earlier? Anybody? Because if you guys were, you know I was struggling here in the beginning, but the bite got better here for me. Last year here, I fought like a 5 or 6 pound bass on this setup here, and I don't know how I landed that fish, but tie good knots, keep your drag set right, and it is possible. I don't know if you guys can I've been thinking about the angle here of how I can set this camera up better for live feed. You guys got suggestions? It would be nice, like maybe an over the shoulder kind of thing, but then it would be hard for me to talk to you guys. I mean, you can pretty much see the fight for the most part when I get one. Oh, here comes a fish, guys. What the hell? He just came up, nosed it, and disappeared. He was on that like flies on you know what, and then he poop spun and turned back down the hole. Anyhow, if you guys have suggestions on a camera view that would be better for live, let me know. I could probably set it up back here behind me, kind of like over shoulder facing. Maybe I could set it up off to my right so I could turn and talk to you guys once in a while, but I think the audio would suck. So the face on like this audio is going to be way better than me looking away from the camera. So I have my phone is hooked up to my Anchor battery, the external battery to keep it charging while I'm live. So that's not a big deal, except for I put the battery in there's a little, you can see it right here on the screen, this right here, these little pockets, there's two of these little pockets where you can stuff gear and stuff, and I have the external battery plugged into the phone, and then I have that battery down into that pocket, so it's holding on to the battery so it's not going to get wet or hit the ice, because that would be bad. So hopefully this amped you guys up. I hope you guys are excited about getting out there, for those of you going this week or soon. I love these live feeds, especially when people are getting on a few fish, and I watch a handful of these myself. So camera angle's good. Alright. Yeah, I mean, if you guys think this is good, I'm just gonna probably run it this way in the future if I do more live feed stuff. It's basically just got me sitting here jigging around. It's a bummer that I can't have both angles in the live feed, because you guys would really appreciate the view of the hole and the fight and stuff when I'm fighting the fish. Could you hear that drag spool going there, Matt? I don't know if you could hear it, but it's because, like I said, this reel's quiet, but you just hear that. It's like a dull sound. He had this rod bent over in half, that's for sure. Like I said, it's a beautiful little panfish rod, but it's all tip. It's got some pretty good backbone. You guys can see that, but this tip is really light, which is nice. But then it does have the backbone, which I enjoy for when you do hook up with a bigger fish, because you're not getting that whole rod bent over. You got a little support there in the wrist. So you could barely hear it. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's just a style reel. It's a bummer because he was ripping drag. Guys, I'm gonna give it another 10 or 15 minutes here, and I am gonna call it good. If that's the last fish I caught on video today, it wouldn't be a bad way to go out. But I am gonna jig for another 10 or 15 here before I pack. And here comes one. Come on, guys. Thump it, thump. Come on. Another looker and a goer. I need to put fresh bait. Oh, here we go. Smack. Yes, sir. Small one this time, but little crappie. Little crappie action there, guys. I don't see anything on the screen, but I'm going to pull the old trick again. I'm going to leave him sit for a second, put it real quick, just put a fresh bait on, see if there's another one down there. If you were watching earlier, I discussed what I'm doing here. If you catch a fish, and especially crappie, they're schooling fish, you catch one, and you leave them on the ice, even if you're not going to keep them just for a short period of time. It's not going to hurt him if he's out of the water for a minute or two. A lot of times you'll get another strike if you go right back down, which is what I'm doing right now. Go right back down, leave the fish there for a sec. And in fact, because of the heater being on, he's actually in the water right now on top of the ice, so he's gonna be fine just for a minute. I'm not gonna kill him. Some rattling going on with that wind kicking up. Seemed like the wind start kicking up and the bite got a smidge better here, so. Alright, I don't see any fish down on the screen, so I'm just gonna let this guy go. It's a little doinker, but another crappie. But so many times I have caught fish like that, had them on the ice for a minute or two, and then boom, you send that jig back down there and you'll hammer another one. But when you send a fish down the hole, especially crappie, has a tendency to break up the school for a few minutes. But I found a decent hole. I'm glad I did. What's up, Hornet? I've been having a blast, man. This is, if you got the time, go back and watch this whole live feed. It started off pretty rough. As you know, I was hammering the crappie the other day per our discussion, and obviously the time of day is a big factor, but I was hoping to get out here and do a little live feed for you. And yeah, I've caught some crappie, a couple of decent ones, but I had a short couple hours here before work this afternoon, so I figured I'd come out and bust a couple of fish. Just caught a decent little Larry there. What up, Kirk, man? Hope you guys are out fishing, crushing them. Finally getting ice. It's been a rough start. I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Got a few more watchers now, which is good. I had a real rough start here. As I was saying, I got going and I drilled a couple holes, found some fish. It's brutal cold up here today, so I didn't want to sit on the ice and do the live feed. It would have been miserable. I would have had frozen guides and everything else, so I decided to set up. Set up, fishing was bad. Caught a couple of doinkers, and I had to leave you guys in here by yourselves here for a few minutes while I went and punched some holes. But I did find fish, and I was able to make a little bit of a better live feed out of this. So if you're just tuning in, and if you go back here a few minutes, you'll be able to see some of the fish I just caught, which is cool. After the live feed's over, of course. I appreciate you watching while it's going on. Absolutely, you know I'm saving some for that hot grease. Yeah, buddy. Not today, but we did save a handful. I got a whole pile of crappies in my fridge right now. Today I have too much going on when I get home and when I go to work, so I don't have time to fillet fish. Although I do have a son who enjoys cleaning fish, so he probably could have done it for me today. I just caught a probably 2-pound largie on the 3-pound test clam noodle here a few minutes back, and it was a pretty fun fight. Ripping some drag out of the old reel here. Sporadic bite today though. It's been off and on. It seems like every 5-10 minutes I get a little school of fish or something come through. So, but steady enough to keep the video going pretty good. Yeah, Woolies, baby. I bought these this year. Paid lots and lots of money for them, because if you guys do some research on the Woolies, man, they haven't gone down in price over the years, that's for sure. I got a nice jacket out there in the sled that I'm not wearing because I'm in here with the heater, but yeah, these are sick. I wore them toward the end of season here deer hunting, and let me tell you, if any of those you owned woolies or had wool pants and jackets in the past, I wish I had done it a long time ago, because they're awesome. In fact, I went up to hunt this year in northern New Hampshire. I stayed at camp with my buddy for a few days, and all the boys up there have them. They love them. It's a North Woods thing for sure, but there's a reason why they wear them, no doubt. But on my way home, I stopped and grabbed a set from Le Bonville there. So tried them on, fell in love. That's right, I got the 3-man. This is my, so I bought this shack just the other day. Got a hell of a deal on it. Super light. It's 2 people, very comfortable. 3 if you space it out right. This is a Eskimo Quick Fish 3. It's the non-insulated version. Very light, good for quick day trips and move around. Today, in fact, I left it set up, and I just left the phone, everything set up in here. Just picked it up by hand and walked 20-30 yards, whatever it is, to my next hole here where I started catching some fish. So very convenient, much lighter version of my insulated Eskimo. I still have the old Chappelle though, Al. I just don't take it out anymore as much. When I tote the machine around, a lot of times I'll take it for the kids and stuff, so they have a place to use the restroom. But now that I got that insulated Eskimo, that thing's pretty bad. Bad, you know what. Spent a couple of nights in that bad boy. Fishing's dying here, folks, but I'm going to be cutting it off here shortly anyway, so I got to head back, have lunch, and go to work. So, couple more minutes. Let me bag one more here. We'll see what happens. Seems to have pretty knocked off pretty good, being that we're getting on noontime here. So, yeah, I miss Soup every day, man. I think about him religiously. One of the best guys out there, that's for sure. One of his favorite things to do right here was ice fish, that's for sure. Man, I wish I could have whacked another one. I don't know when you tuned in now, but it got pretty good here for a little bit, and then now it's slowing down. Such is fishing, especially midday crappie fishing. Alarm going off to tell me to get the hell off the ice so I can get to work. 2 minutes, 2 more minutes I'm gonna give it. For those of you tuned in, thank you very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, if you're new to this, please think about doing so. I have a lot of fishing, hunting content. I'm trying to get those watch hours up. I don't even know, I've lost track, but I'm getting upwards of a couple hundred videos, give or take a few on either end here. Trying to build the channel up to something that helps just put a couple of dollars worth of fuel in my tank so I can provide more and better content going forward. I took a little lapse in videoing because of work and or lack of ice and stuff that I could have for you guys video wise. But now that I can do these live streams and stuff on video, because I've gotten the subscribers and I'm getting very close to my watch hours I need, things are going to progress hopefully more rapidly here, and I'll be able to provide some better content and get you guys more excited about the outdoors. So if you're new to this, please check out my other videos, and if you feel like it, hit that sub button and notification bell and stuff so you can hopefully catch my future episodes. Although from what I understand, YouTube hasn't been doing a lot with that notification thing. I think some of that's changed, but we'll see. I don't know if you guys that are my regular subscribers get the notifications and stuff, but hopefully you do. It's always appreciated when anyone tunes in. So I think I'm going to call it because it is dead. It is dead. I'd stay a few more minutes here because I do have a little bit of time, but not if the fish aren't biting here. So if you haven't watched this all the way through and you feel like going back to watch it through, you'll see my struggle there in the beginning, and then it got pretty good here in that last 45 minutes, an hour, whatever it was. I started catching a few fish, so it made it worth it. What do we got here? Gonna have a review video on this new shack. Yes, I will if more people are interested in that. These like quick fish shacks, the Eskimos, are probably the most reviewed shack out there because they're the least expensive. But if it's something that everybody is interested in, for sure I will put something up, let you guys know how it's working out through the course. And I do abuse my gear pretty good, so I will put something up if you're interested. Hub wise, like quality wise, it's the same, I would say, as the XD, the 450 XD I have, except for the fact that it's not insulated. But the hubs seem to be as good quality. The stitching looks really good to me. I don't have any complaints so far, although I just used it twice. So I will put something up. The best thing about this shack, though, that I would say, you know, if I do a review, is going to be the mobility aspect, because it doesn't weigh anything. I think it's like, I'd have to go back. I don't want to give you an actual quote on or spec on the weight right now because it's not in front of me. But it's not even a quarter of the weight of the dead body, the 450 XC that I call it. We call it the dead body. That thing weighs 1,000,000 pounds. Great for if you got a handful of people pulling sleds and you can separate the gear, and or if you're got a family, or if you're doing overnights, or if you have a machine to pull your gear. It's awesome for that. But it's not good for one person like myself to set up quickly like this and fish. So I will give you that much on it now. If you want more information, we can go from there. I like longevity and stuff like that. So I think I'm gonna hit it, guys. What do we got here? Anybody else seeing stuff that I didn't see? Boston Whaler Restoration Series would help. Yeah, you gotta start your channel, Matt. I told you that a long time ago. Help the man out. Thanks, Hornet. You're the man. I appreciate all you guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you haven't subscribed, like I said, please think about doing so, and hit the notification bell. Hopefully that'll notify you. Catch my future episodes. For now, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care, guys. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Is he coming? Had one looking. He don't like me. Peace out, guys.